No.
Got sucked in.
Yeah.
He's a criminal defense attorney.
It was.
All right, earphones on.
YouTube, are we on?
We are.
Good morning and welcome back. I am your host every Saturday morning right here on 100.3 WRNB.
And Classics 107.9.
Yes. Welcome back, folks. This is Court Radio. We broadcast live in the studio every Saturday morning. You can watch us on YouTube all week long, repeatedly if you'd like. You'll find us by going to the My Philly Lawyer website and clicking on Court Radio, and there's a clicking on Court Radio, and you'll find the button for the live feed.
And subscribe.
Yeah, you can subscribe if you'd like. If you don't, that's okay too.
No.
No.
Subscribe,
No.
please.
Listen.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today we have an interesting guest. He's got some stories to tell, but before we get there, I do have a little tidbit to bring us up to date on a story we talked about before involving the law firm of Morgan and Morgan.
Oh. The family.
Yeah, the family firm. They were sued for malpractice. But you'll recall when we brought this up last, we had looked at the Morgan & Morgan fee agreement. And the fee agreement has a clause that forbids, should they commit malpractice, it forbids their clients from suing them in court, which I found to be hysterical because we as plaintiffs' attorneys always advocate for our clients not to sign contracts that have what's called an arbitration clause, because the arbitration clause will take you out of the courtroom and force you to litigate your case against that party, whoever that party is, in an arbitration where both parties pick a professional arbitrator to hear the case and decide the amount that the victim of the malpractice or the negligence is going to receive. And I always think that going to an arbitration means that you're going to potentially lose the ire of the general public. Like, you know, if you can relate to the plaintiff and you're angry that the plaintiff's in a situation that they shouldn't be in, your tendency is to award them a large sum of money. Whereas a professional arbitrator may not be moved by those feelings, and he may lowball or downplay the negligence and try to find a resolution that is, you know, kind of in the middle of the road. And it's just not a better place for a plaintiff to be. You want to be in a courtroom with a jury of your peers. So if you're going to talk, you got to get in that microphone. So if we tell our clients, listen, if you go to a nursing home or you go to a hospital, you're going to be presented with an arbitration clause contract. They're going to point it out to you. They have to. And you have the right to say, no, I am not signing that. I will sign any other contract to get services, but I'm not signing a contract that gives away my rights to sue you if you're negligent. And you have a right to do that, and we caution our clients to sign, not to sign those arbitration clauses. Well, here, the actual attorneys, the firm that's representing you, puts an arbitration clause in their fee agreement. It's outrageous. So this client goes to arbitration because he can't get out of it. Let me tell you, you sign like a lot of people think, oh, you know, my lawyer will get me out of it. No, if you're of sound mind and you sign a contract, you're going to be bound by it. This client was bound by it. They had to do the arbitration, and they couldn't sue them in court.
How does this happen, Dean? They don't see the fine print? Are they?
I guess not. They're not reading and they're not understanding.
The
Or maybe
legalese?
they asked and they made it seem like they had to. I don't know.
But you did bring up saying that when there's an agreement like that, they have to bring it forth to you to let you know that you're signing away your rights.
You did
Yes.
say that. Yeah.
So if they didn't do that,
Apparently they did, because this person had his claim for malpractice against Morgan & Morgan litigated in an arbitration. The arbitrator found in favor of the plaintiff, so found that there was negligence, found that the plaintiff was damaged to the tune of $4.3 million. Now, maybe that was a fair number. I don't know. Maybe if that plaintiff had been in a courtroom, he would have gotten $10 million. And so I find it incredible that you had to sign it, but I want to also point out that it stood up. This client had to litigate his case in arbitration. And yes, it worked out for the client to some extent. I mean, I don't know what the case is worth. I don't know if it was worth $10 million. I can assure you this: it wasn't worth $3 million, and the arbitrator was generous and gave him $4.3.
Do you know what they were asking for?
Yeah.
I don't.
Does your opinion change if the case is more fact specific than law specific?
No.
Okay.
No. Clearly, a fact-specific case is going to be a case you want the jury to see. If there's an egregious breach of the law and it's mainly a legal argument you're making, that will get decided by the judge. The judge still has the power to make legal decisions. The jury is the arbiter of the facts. So it's a combination, but it's a combination that is tried and true and works for us, and we want to keep using it. And more entities, like these gigantic corporations like Morgan & Morgan. You think you're retaining, John Morgan? No, you're retaining thousands of employees across.
Wait, it's not a member of the family?
You're retaining thousands of employees across the entire country. It's a big corporation making billions of dollars, and they have baked into their fee agreement this ARB clause. I think it's incredible, and that would be a reason. If you had to sign that to be represented, that and that alone is a reason to say no.
When you are arrested, the first thing you hear is you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say. And the last thing they say is, do you understand these rights as they have been explained to you? And you say yes.
Yes.
In this case, with an arbitrator in the room, these things are explained to the plaintiff, and the plaintiff.
No arbitrator in the room.
This is just you.
You just got into an accident. You call Morgan & Morgan, and they have somebody, an intake person, take your information and send you out, probably electronically.
No, I'm talking about the part where they have to explain to you about this clause.
Again, we don't know that it was explained.
But it has to be.
I would say no.
It doesn't have to be explained.
No. I would say no.
Okay.
I would say that they're going to send you forms, and there's going to be a block for you to sign, and they're going to assume you read, understood the form before signing.
And there's probably going to be a checkbox that you have to check to say, yes, I read and understood it.
I recall seeing it, the agreement. There was no checkbox, to the best of my recollection.
On the electronic version?
On the printed version, but the printed version and electronic version kind of mirror one another, or at least it does for us. When we send documents electronically, it looks like a page of printed paper, and then at the very bottom where it's a signature, there's a block that you put the cursor in that block and your signature will appear. And again, I don't know that anybody explained it, but I do know that it stood up because it was an arbitration that resulted in that $4.3 million award.
So this is real fine print stuff. When we say
it's right in the document,
right there.
It's a 10-page document.
Yeah.
So are you reading every paragraph, or are you focusing on how much do I have to give them if they win? Right? Is it 33 or is it 40% or whatever?
Yeah.
Did the arbitrator comment on the arbitration clause?
No, he did not.
Which I guess would be against his interest.
I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah.
Interest of the industry.
That's a whole nother enterprise, arbitrators that are making a lot of money off of the arbitration clauses in these contracts.
They must have a legal background, arbitrators, of course.
Usually they're lawyers.
Right.
They're retired lawyers or
judges.
Yeah. So yes, I would say they absolutely have a legal background.
Do you know if this clause has been challenged in actual court?
I do not. I'm sure it has. I'm sure it has around the country, but I can't report today that it's been upheld. Other than in this case, where
it went to arbitration.
Yeah, it went to arbitration.
It must still be good.
All right, before who's that voice that we're hearing?
Well, you can actually see a face. If you're watching YouTube, you see the purple monster.
That's right.
It is Mr. Kenneth Edelin. Ken Edelin is the principal of Edelin and Associates.
Yes, sir.
He is a law firm. He represents a law firm that focuses their practice on criminal defense.
Indeed.
And so whenever we have a criminal question or issue, Ken's the fellow who comes in to help us navigate it. And the criminal question for today's show is the drug bust in Penn State University.
We are.
Yeah. It's amazing.
We are.
Tell us a little bit. Give us a background, first of all. What happened in Happy Valley? Wow.
That's probably on one of the bags. Happy Valley. That's probably one of them. Happy Valley.
Yeah, that was their trademark. Tell us what happened in Happy Valley. What do we know?
Is that there were 14 people who have been arrested, apparently by the Pennsylvania AG's office, 13 of which were either current students or former students. And then somebody's dad got caught up in it, and he makes up the 14.
He's actually a criminal defense attorney himself.
And as you pointed out earlier, or was.
He's in the Pittsburgh area, and from what I understand, he was kind of. I don't know that he had knowledge beforehand, but it sounds like he was cleaning up the evidence after the fact.
It's from what I understand, his son asked him to go get and hold a safe, and apparently in that safe were drugs and money. I don't know if there was a firearm in the safe or not.
Drugs and money. What if we're going to take a little side detour just for a second. We'll get to the main topic. But what if he didn't know? What if the son said, "Hey, Dad, I left a safe in my what do you call those? Dorm. There you go. I left a safe in my dorm room." When I was moving out, could you just grab it for me and hold on to it? I'll pick it up later. And he has no knowledge of what's in the safe, and he goes, "All right, I'll go get it for you, son."
Then he should be fine.
Because
I mean, just like if you come over my house, park the Lambo in the driveway.
Yeah.
I say I need to run to Wawa. Am I responsible for what's in your trunk? I mean, I have to have knowledge, right?
Gotcha.
But at the same time, you're saying I don't know what was in there. Whatever it was, it belongs to my son. That's a tough spot to be in.
It is, but somebody's got to go under that bus, and
that's a tough spot to be in.
He'll have more years to grow up and figure out what he did wrong. Okay, so
this is juicy.
Knowledge is important.
Absolutely.
In any criminal charge, you have to have what we call, I'll give you a little Latin for Saturday morning, mens rea.
Yes.
And essentially it means you have to understand and appreciate the criminal nature of your activity.
We will also put the caveat that ignorance of the law is not a defense. So you either knew or you certainly should have known, given the totality of the circumstances.
Right.
And there are also different levels of what your knowledge is. So here there's 13, 14 people in charge, have been charged with a conspiracy, meaning they are all being held accountable for everything. But let's say you're only buying drugs. You're not selling. You're buying it for personal use.
So you mean so I can get through my math exam?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or whatever it is you need to do.
Yeah, you
but
had an
now
all-nighter, yeah.
Right, but now you're not responsible or shouldn't be held responsible for those who are actually selling. You don't know the scope of the conspiracy. You don't know what they're doing. You're feeding your habit.
Well, is the 14? Nobody in the 13 people that are being that were charged are buyers. They are all sellers.
I think there were 7 or 8 that have just been charged with the misdemeanor level knowing possession.
Ah, okay.
Wait, aren't they the ones that were actually capping and bagging and weighing of the freight?
No.
That's not them.
They would be involved in the possession with the intent to deliver. If you're bagging it up,
Right.
your intent is to then give it to somebody so it can be given to somebody else. And it's important to keep in mind possession with the intent to deliver, which is the felony. We think of that as drug selling, but that doesn't say selling. That says delivery, right? So if you take a bag from me and your intention is to go back to the studio and share it, you are now delivering.
But if all you're doing is packaging, that's it.
Then
Nothing else.
You're involved in the possession of the drugs with the intent to have them delivered. That's the felony.
Let me just give a little tip to our listeners. 215-227-2727, the number for all things legal. Listen, if you've got a legal issue or question, today is the day to call us. If you were wondering about this story or you have some questions about that or you have any legal issue at all, we tackle the toughest legal issues thrown at us every Saturday with aplomb. Bada boom.
That's good.
Yeah. So just give us a call, 215-227-2727. We'll get you on the air. We'll hear your story, your question, and we'll dive in and give you an answer. So
it sounds like this whole thing got started. One guy got caught. They sent in a confidential informant, and somehow he was caught selling to them. It sounds like he made 3 or 4 controlled buys, meaning the police sent in the buyer. They may have given him marked money. They may have had him wired up. They may have been watching him. They may have been listening on the phone. And he made those buys, and he made those sells. So he's caught, right? Mm-hmm. So now they come to him and say, look, we got you for 4 different sales to our confidential informant. It's on tape. It's on video. You're done. Tell us how you can help us.
now, the thing that always gets me is how silly criminals can be, how short-sighted they can be. When you have an enterprise like this, 13 people, maybe more, and then you're selling to dozens or maybe far more people, do you not think that someone along the lines of all these people are going to run into a problem with the law? And in order to get out of their problem, which may have nothing to do with this, the police are going to say, well, is there anything you know that you might be able to help us with?
But that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? Mm-hmm. I mean, rarely do we have anybody that's out there just doing stuff by themselves. I mean, they're doing it to make money. In order to make money, you need a clientele. So that's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, I guess. But, I mean, you would think that, as the conspirators, even there, you have so many people that are involved and everybody seems to know everybody. It's like they're working in a cap house, Yes. I mean, they've got this gigantic mound of cocaine and they've got all these pledges who are trying to get into the fraternity. This was a fraternity, right?
It sounds like it was a couple of them. But can we just give a brief shout out to whoever came up with the term Pablo Pledge Cobar?
Absolutely. That was pretty daggone good. Right on top of from Penn State to the state pen. That's a great one.
And he's a bodega owner or something who made T-shirts with that on there.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure he's making his money off.
Yeah.
There's going to be a movie. There's got to be a movie.
You think?
Oh, absolutely.
A movie.
It's also interesting to note, though, that they are saying Pablo Pledge Escobar.
Pledge Escobar.
Because I appreciate that. Was getting the coke. He's not the top. He may have been the top in the Penn State issue, but he's getting it from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think they're saying Philly and or
New York. Yeah, yeah.
So you can believe they have him in a room and asking him, okay,
right,
you're done. How can you help us?
and up the chain it goes.
So
And
that's
that's usually how it starts.
So these New Yorkers coming down here, they're taking our homes, they're gentrifying, and they're supplying our drugs. Is that what's going on? Is that what you guys are doing?
You know, with all the good, there's a little bad.
Lines, white lines. Okay.
I thought cocaine was done in like the 80s.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Still a very
Not on these campuses.
upper class.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't know. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
I know.
You know me.
Yeah, I know you.
If it ain't green, it ain't for
me.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Gotcha. 215-227-2727. We have Alfred on line 1.
That Alfred?
I don't know.
What?
That Alfred? Hello, Alfred.
How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Well,
sir.
thanks. What's your question you may have or your story?
Yeah. So I was served this week. Not actually served. I thought you had to be like signed off on it. But in my mail this week, I got a notice of intent to sue. Came in the mail, and it says someone tripped and fell in my driveway while delivering a package. And this law firm is asking for surveillance footage and stuff from, July 10th. I need to know, what steps should I take? Should I reach right out to a lawyer myself, or don't?
Hell no. Listen. Okay. So the first question is, do you own that property?
Yes.
Okay. Second question, do you have insurance, homeowners insurance on your property?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You need to call your insurance company. You need to share that letter with your homeowner's insurance company. Do you know why? Because they're there to protect you, A. B, they will retain an attorney and pay for an attorney to defend you.
Okay.
And if, by any chance, there is a judgment found against you at some time in the future, that insurance company will be paying that judgment on your behalf. So you want to notify your insurance company, and if you should have video surveillance of your property dated back to July, do not destroy it. Do not do anything with it, but inform your insurance company that you have it, and they will instruct you on what to do thereafter.
Okay.
Any other questions, Alfred, or did we hit you between the eyes?
Hit it on the nail right there.
All right, brother.
Perfect. That's what I needed to know. Thank you.
Thank you as well. Keep listening to Court Radio and tell your family and friends.
So let me ask you this question. Is regular mail in the mailbox considered good service?
No, that's not. He wasn't sued. He got a letter from a lawyer saying, a scare letter. You're going to get sued. Don't get rid of the video. That's not process. That's not a legal document.
Okay.
But the answer is, in Pennsylvania, in order to be served, you must be physically handed the legal process called a complaint from either a sheriff in the outlying counties, but in Philadelphia we have special rules. It could be any adult. So any adult can hand you a lawsuit and say, you've been served.
So certified mail? No.
No. But if I petition the court and I say, I can't get this guy served, he's ducking me, they can give me permission, the court can give me permission to post the premises. And then I come over and I take a nail and a hammer and I nail up the complaint to your front door, and then that's good service as well if I have the prerequisite order of the court to bypass personal service.
Got it. Thank you.
My pleasure. We got other callers. We'll take one more before the break. Line 2. Wow, I love this name. Dude, I love this name. Line 2, Cogswell.
Mr. Cogswell.
Cogswell.
Cogs.
Yes, sir. I finally got off of Spacey's bracket.
All right, young man. What's your question?
All right. My question is, if you were served like the weekend to do weekend jail, like the 45 weekends.
Yep.
And
That's a lot of weekends, bro.
All right. And say you only completed like maybe like 15 to 30, and you kind of want to turn yourself in so that you can get this off your back. You know what I'm saying? How much time does that usually carry?
That's a great question for Mr. Edelin.
So what we would certainly hope.
He did partial. He bagged the last 15 weekends.
Understood.
Good word.
So what the hope would be is that you would get an attorney, you would go and make arrangements to turn yourself in, and they would just make you finish the outstanding portion of what you were supposed to do. If you run into the wrong judge, or if there's some other extenuating circumstances, a judge could decide to have what's known as a contempt hearing. Because you were in contempt, you were in violation of a court order. And those can carry up to about 6 months. Now, if you just stop, and it's also going to depend on how long ago you stopped reporting, what the nature of the underlying offense was. I'm presuming if you just got weekends, it's not necessarily that serious. I'm presuming that if you just got weekends, you had a job during the week, which is why they gave you the weekends. So it sounds like you would certainly have good information and mitigation to present to the court to try to convince them just to give you the outstanding balance of the time. That would certainly be my goal.
I would say this, Cogswell, and I'm not trying to, find a client for Ken. I personally, if I had been in your shoes, if it were your shoes, I would not go without an attorney because then you're kind of at the mercy of the court and the prosecutor, and some of them are nasty and could try to mess with you. But when you go in with representation, you kind of level the playing field. And so rather than do 45 more weekends rather than 15, I would retain an attorney to attend and to surrender you and to kind of pave the way for this to be handled appropriately. That's just my 2 cents.
And to explain why it happened. To present your good qualities.
Yeah, it's always better to have an independent person stand up for you and say, Cogswell is a good dude and he deserves a little, help here.
This is what happened. This is why he missed. We apologize as soon as he figured it out, as soon as he got back on his feet, as soon as he was able. He retained an attorney. We're here now. He's willing to pay the rest of his cost.
You got it, Cogs?
I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, bro.
Good luck, brother.
Hey, listen, and also, if anybody needs to reach Ken Edelin, how do they do it? And I want to just say this. It is a rare day when Dean Weitzman bypasses my office number and says to a guest, give it out. Give it out.
I was actually going back to your number, since that's the one everybody knows anyway.
215-227-2727. All right, there you go. He's a good guy.
To get you in touch with.
I will get you in touch with Ken because I have his cell phone and I know how to do it. Folks, we got to get the sponsors to torture you for 2 minutes, but we have a lot of interesting things to talk about regarding Penn State. We'll be back in 120 seconds. Stay tuned.
We are.
YouTube is still feeding.
I just think it's appalling how giddy we are talking about this Penn State college thing.
Some of us are more giddy than others.
Anything that don't happen in West Philly, let's celebrate
It's a good day, huh? It's a good day.
YouTube, you could jump on the bandwagon and post up some questions for Ken and I to tackle. We have the capacity to handle that. And I'm sure somebody out there has an interesting thought on today's topic. So take your best shot and become a part of the Court Radio family.
Look forward to it. Want to hear from you.
No questions, but we got a lot of just reaction, though, to the whole drug case. Of course, they love the movie aspect of it.
That movie's going to be good.
What is that, Penn State to State Penn? That's the movie title.
That's good. I think Tell Manuel that he's gonna want to cut.
He is going to cut.
They said would
Man.
lead to a RICO.
Because save the show. We'll need it for copyright
Not yet.
copyright
Not turned into a
infringement.
RICO yet.
But the possibility of it, I guess.
There's a possibility that the feds could take it. I mean, it certainly sounds like it was more than one state involved. So once you start crossing state lines,
Will you play the defense attorney out of Pittsburgh who comes on behalf of his son to take the safe home in this movie?
would I play him? Absolutely.
I think you got your heart is in the right place. Your kid calls you and says, "Daddy, can you pick up my safe?" You're right there. I can see it with the wagon.
That's right. That's right. And put the tarp over it.
I meant to tell you, I test drove a car a couple days ago. That Cadillac Lyric, the new one. Have you seen that?
I think I might have. Yeah.
It's all electric.
Oh my God, it's awesome. It's the best thing they've ever made. What's over at Corvette? Who they knew you over there?
Of course they.
Of course they do.
Of course they did. I mean, you took a photo and everything.
I bought a couple Bentleys over there.
I'm sure.
Just a little.
Up or down?
Up. Yep. Okay, thank you. Just a little adjustment of the volume. Because I'm getting older, and my hearing is. I don't know about you, but I'm actually the thought of going to a audiologist and getting my hearing tested has been circulating in my brain, which means I do this a lot. Like, huh? What'd you say? And I can hear, but it is definitely, there is a little hardening of the ear bone going on somewhere.
So the
For
eyesight.
me, it's the eyes.
It's the only thing
The
that's
eyesight.
hardening, though.
But don't bump. Cogswell, are you still there?
So before we get started, Manuel,
Sir.
because you're my man,
Yes,
I got to
sir.
protect your interests.
Yes, sir.
Apparently, one of the folks from YouTube said when they make the movie From Penn State to State Penn, has to be the title. I want to make sure you get credit. Want to make sure you get your cut.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, Ken.
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a caller, and then we're going to get back to the Penn State case. Line 4, Kim. Oh, Kim.
Hi, Dean.
Hi, Kim.
I am calling about the Penn State thing. Full disclosure, my baby's a sophomore there. But, and I think Ken touched on this a little bit. My question is, will there be a RICO for the privileged?
There you go.
So
Well, let me break that down.
Yeah, please.
So RICO is a statute that criminalizes the conspiracy itself and you don't have to have actual knowledge, but if you're part of the conspiracy, it gets everybody from the beginning to the very top. And it's really intended to get the kingpins who may not get their hands dirty, but they benefit from the conspiracy to be charged with a pretty serious offense.
This is how Harvey Dent won.
Now, the question is there both a federal, because that's where it usually comes up. It comes up in the federal system. But is there a federal and a state RICO statute?
So RICO stands for Racketeering and Corrupt Organizations. So you're looking at an organization, most of the time you have to have violence involved. Most of the time you have to have going across state lines. Typically it is a federal move. It sounds like they got the kingpins here. But if they start looking at the folks out of Philly or the folks out of Jersey or the folks out of New York, then I would expect the feds to get involved. It sounds like this was an Pennsylvania Attorney General investigation and process from the beginning. So they probably did not ask the feds to take it. Feds typically don't just take it. They go to the other agency and says, look, this seems serious. Do you want us to get involved? Or the other agency calls and says, look, this is bigger than we feel like dealing with. Why don't you all take it? It doesn't sound like that's happened yet. Doesn't sound like that's happened in its current iteration. Once we start talking about New York, New Jersey, and that type of thing, then I would not be surprised if it doesn't turn into a federal RICO.
There you go, Kim. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your great question. 215-227-2727. That's the number that'll get you into court radio today. Right now, It's the number for My Philly Lawyer all week long. I'm sorry?
I'm just saying YouTube wants to pivot to another topical subject this week in Philly, but no, you continue.
Okay. Let's just finish up with our Penn State issue here. So, may go RICO, may not. Attorney General's prosecuting these folks. Does it matter the amount of drugs that these kids were weighing, selling, measuring, distributing? Does the amount mean anything, or is it just X amount and you're guilty?
The amount weighs in, pun intended, on what your possible sentences could be and or what you could possibly be charged with. And so a lot of times, certainly in the local courts, what they'll do is they'll have a officer come in or otherwise somebody qualified as an expert to say, look, he had 27 bags, he had paraphernalia, he had money bundled. So even though I didn't see him necessarily make sales, when you possess these items in this manner, in this quantity, I can testify as an expert that that is typically for sale, for distribution. Now, in this case, that doesn't seem like it's going to apply except for some of the lower guys because they got kilos, they got 1,000 grams, they got 500-gram sales. They have various different controlled buys. So that doesn't sound like it's going to come into play. But once you get to the possession with the intent to deliver, the important thing to note is that that is a felony as opposed to knowing and intentional possession, which is a misdemeanor.
The more you sell, does that mean the longer your sentence?
That would certainly weigh into what the sentencing judge would take into account when determining what your sentence is. It may also trigger some mandatory minimums. They will also look at if there were firearms involved, possessed, used, that type of thing, because that will also determine and contribute to what your sentence will be, as well whether or not you have a prior record, as well how much money they're saying that you made, as well how large they're saying the conspiracy or the network is, as well how many people they're saying that you sold to, how far your reach went.
Now, this whole thing came to be the investigation through a confidential informant. What is that, and how does that work?
Somebody probably got caught, arrested for buying drugs. They were looking at time, or for whatever. And they were looking at time, and then a prosecutor or law enforcement came to him and said, look, this is the evidence we have against you. You're pretty much done. So you need to understand and accept the fact that you're going to jail. I can help you with these charges. I can lessen these charges. I can mitigate these charges if you have information that you can give me leading to prosecution and arrest of others. And so he probably said, oh, yeah, I got these drugs from XYZ.
It's always a daisy chain, isn't it?
Absolutely. That's how they make their cases.
Yeah. There's never, it's like the first crime back in the 1400s, and they're still working off of the information that they gather from each of these various crimes. All right. Well, Penn State, wish you the best of luck. Listen, it wasn't Temple. Temple made. We don't play like that in Temple.
Oh, I haven't heard us in the headlines for none of this. I'm just saying.
Yeah. All right, let's take a caller. Anonymous, line 3. Oh, Anonymous,
Hello?
welcome to Core Radio.
Hello.
Oh, yes. My question is a criminal question in reference to the Megan law that says if you sign in for 25 years.
Yes.
So if a person is on their list, can they come off?
No.
Never, ever.
No. It is rare and rarely seen. So, no. Once you get on the list, they can reduce how much you have to report. They can reduce the requirements of your reporting, but it's statutory. You're on the list, you're on the list. And interestingly enough, let's say you get a case in North Carolina and their rules are different, but you then move to Pennsylvania. You have to abide by Pennsylvania's laws and how they interpret what the crime was in North Carolina. So if Pennsylvania is more severe than the North Carolina Megan's law, it doesn't matter. You have to abide by Pennsylvania.
For those who may not know, what is Megan's Law?
Megan's Law is the sexual offender registry. So if you are convicted of a sexual crime, rape, indecent touching, that type of thing, you are then put on a registry. You have to register as a sexual offender, and that is called Megan's Law. And that is public record. They can find you. They can find out where you live. You have to report to the state police. You have a PO, and they keep track of it.
There you go. All right.
And 25 years is actually the lower one. There are some that are life.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But how can you get it reduced? Can you?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And, you know, sometimes people might not realize some crimes that may not jump out at you as being a sex offense are on that list.
You should certainly be informed of that at the time that you are being sentenced and or taking a plea.
That's like saying you should be informed of an arbitration clause in a contract. You don't necessarily, they don't necessarily, and especially if you don't have representation. If you don't have representation, you're relying upon a prosecutor to go through all the possible implications of your pleading guilty to a particular offense, you may come up short.
You have to have representation if you are facing possible jail time. So that'll be the public defender's office, that'll be a court-appointed attorney, but you have to have representation.
And they should tell you, you know, if you plead guilty to this, you're going to be on the sex registry document.
And typically, the judges during a guilty plea or at the time of the sentencing, they read off a litany of what you have to abide by because they don't want you to come back later and say, I didn't know that.
Right, right. All right, 215-227-2727. The number you need to call today to get your question answered. Line 1, Pat. Hello, Pat.
Hi.
You have a question or comment?
Yes. My question is, I'm trying to sue someone, and I just want to know how I get a process server.
Okay.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier in the show. I mean, first question, I guess, is this Philadelphia or another jurisdiction?
It's Philadelphia.
It's Philadelphia. So any adult can serve a process, a legal document. The document has to be fresh. Usually after 30 days, it goes stale, and then you have to have it reinstated before service. And you know, you got to find the person. So if your question is, well, I haven't been able to locate the person, or they're never home, that's a different question. Then as I explained, you could file a motion with the court to try another way to serve them. Some other ways are posting the premises. Another way is putting an advertisement in the newspaper. So there are alternative methods for service of process, but only through a court order. And if you're asking this question, then I would assume this is something you've taken on your own and you don't have legal representation.
No, don't.
Yeah. So everything's a little bit more difficult when you're trying to do it on your own, and there's certainly plenty of places for you to make a mistake. But, you know, as I said, usually if you're trying to serve a complaint, it's got to be served within 30 days, and it can be served by any adult. And it could be served upon, if you have the right address, right? It could be served upon any resident of that household.
How do you prove service?
You get an affidavit of service that is signed by the process server. So, you know, any adult who knocks on the door and hands the lawsuit to another adult in the household, whether it's the person you're suing or not, so long as it's the person you're suing's home address, then that should be good service. And then the process server gives you an affidavit saying, I served an adult at 3:17 p.m. on Tuesday, and then you file that with the court, and the court would deem that good service.
Okay. So I want to say the process service could be anybody, but I heard that it can be anybody 18. So you can get your cousin or somebody to be a process server.
Yeah, any adult who's not a party to the action. Any adult who's not a party to the action.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Take care, Pat.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Court Radio, where we dish out good info every Saturday.
$250,000 of free information.
So what were you talking about in Philly that you wanted to bring up?
Creepy Chucky.
I'm sorry?
Creepy Chucky.
Who's Creepy Chucky?
Creepy Chucky is Amir Hughes, who's been walking around in a long black robe and a Chucky mask or something like that, threatening people in Philadelphia.
Wow.
So
he has or has not been arrested.
He has not been arrested. He has been identified. He has now fled, they believe, the state, and is now in California or Las Vegas somewhere. But he has threatened people with a knife and weapons. One young lady took offense and decided to attack him and kicked him with some type of martial arts move, and he fled. But he's been hanging around Philadelphia in Center City for a while, and now the DA did a press conference, I believe it was the day before yesterday, announcing who he was. He has been identified, and they believe he's fled, but they are looking to bring him back to justice.
So there's an active warrant in Philly for his arrest.
It's my understanding, yes. Zamir Hughes, a.k.a. Creepy Chucky.
So that will go on a national database.
Hopefully.
And wherever he is, if he gets stopped, that will pop up, and they will hold him until he gets extradited back to Philly.
Hope that answers your question there, YouTube.
Thank you, YouTube, for participating in today's radio show. We are much appreciative.
And some new viewers, too, Dan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
10,000?
We're getting there.
Okay.
Like eating an elephant, one bite at a time.
Remember to like and subscribe. That would help our algorithms. I hit that right out of the park today.
That was good.
Yeah.
You been practicing?
I have. I have a hard time with that word. I don't know what it is. Okay, so let's get off of that. I just want to hear from what's going on in your world. Have you had any interesting cases in the last since we last saw you? Have you had any cases?
There were fortunately or unfortunately, yes. Depends on, I guess, your perspective.
Hey, no, listen, it's a business when you get down to it, you know?
Depends on what your perspective is. But, yeah, crime has not slept.
Okay.
From your perspective, has
again,
crime declined? From your perspective?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Okay.
Do the types of crimes morph as we go through life? Like now there's more of this, but before there was more of that?
And I think what we see is there's a concerted effort by legislators, by those in power, to not criminalize or bring through the criminal system some of the more lesser crimes, for lack of a better word. So some of the possessions, they end up getting diverted into one of the diversion programs or drug court. Some of the folks that we know have mental health issues, and that's been documented, they'll try to get them diverted into some of the mental health courts.
Oh, really?
Veterans, they'll try to get them into veterans court, that type of thing. So what you're seeing now is a concentration of the more serious crimes, which again, depending on your perspective, is good or bad.
I think,
so
I think they should have the death penalty for car thieves. That's my opinion now.
Well, hey, there was a time they hung you for stealing a horse.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true.
Yeah.
America did that.
Yeah. I mean, there is an overwhelming amount of car theft right now. I mean, I didn't realize it until I became a victim.
Right.
But
as you know, I realized it.
For a long time. He had a Kia.
Yeah,
I remember that.
They was taking my Kia every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Every year. That's real.
And it's
is there something about the Kia?
Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't locking them very well.
And there was a YouTube video explaining how you could steal them.
Right.
Really?
There wasn't no regulator on there that kept they were able to start it with a USB.
That's wild.
But
have they fixed that or no?
No.
Still haven't fixed it.
Back to Dean's point,
not for certain models.
Really?
Like the later models, they did fix it.
Yeah.
Back to Dean's point, though. Are they stealing the cars for the vehicles themselves, or are there certain parts or certain metals the car has.
Like the old catalytic converter.
Yeah,
thing.
stuff like that.
I think there's several organized crimes syndicates that are going after different cars. So you have the high-end, Lambo, the
Right.
Porsche, the
Which you always have.
Mercedes. Those are getting stolen and going right up to Newark, New Jersey. I have to shout out Newark because that is the home of car thefts right now.
Yeah,
Newark?
New Jersey Drive. Remember
And-
that movie?
Yeah, I do.
And
I do.
they stick them on stick them in a trailer, and the trailer goes on a boat,
Yeah.
and the boat goes to
Overseas.
Ghana or some African country or South American country, and they're sold as a new car down there. Let's say they have car dealerships of all the stolen cars from America. Then there are syndicates that are going after parts, and they're parting
That's what
cars.
I thought. Yeah.
215-227-2727. We got Ken Edelin. We're talking about criminal matters. And if you've got a question or issue, give us a call. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Car. So just say this. If Bruce Wayne had a luxury car, he would have that lyric. Just the front of the car, the grill. The front grill is awesome. The light display.
Low and wide.
Oh, but the light display is fantastic. That's the new
What are you
thing.
doing with the charging though? I'm not sold on the electric
Here's,
cars.
and I feel you there. It's best to have a charger at home, which, by the way, they give you $1,500 towards having one at home.
It's just a 220 line.
You got one, right?
I had one.
But if you got a charger, you better have a driveway.
Well, in South Philly, cats got them right there out front. I don't know how they do it. It works. But we have two near here, like a half a block away. Underground, there's a couple around here, but I feel you on that. But they also they show you where every damn charger is in the country.
Now you got to know where the chargers are.
Well, you don't have
and
to
you
know
have
it.
to map it.
Your car knows it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Your
It'll
car
tell
does
you.
know.
There's a button.
I
you
want
just
to go from here to New York. These are
It'll
all
tell
the
you
stops
every
where the
single
chargers
station.
are.
Well, it already. If you say I'm going to go from here to Boston, it already knows it doesn't have enough juice to get you to Boston, so it will plan a charging station stop along the way.
As is everybody else. So now you got it.
It will tell you before you get there how many are open.
He's telling the truth.
Yeah.
The only drawback is you may find out of all of them there might be one charger might be
Not
messed
working.
up. Not
It should
working
also
well.
tell you that.
And it'll tell you that too.
Yeah.
But
Now,
you got
do
to
you-
start thinking about your car the way you think about your cell phone.
But do you have to find? Well, but you can charge your cell phone in the car. So that's always getting charged.
Okay, but you got to think about a car the exact same. I know it's odd, but that is the way you got to think about it.
So my understanding is you don't have to find Cadillac chargers.
Correct.
No,
You
any
can
charge.
find Tesla,
Well,
but then you got to get an
yeah.
adapter. Now it costs more and all of this.
not what I was
They're
told.
moving towards a universality in that regard. I test drove this week a Rivian with Mia for her car,
We're back, guys.
and they go on the Tesla chargers.
Wait, I tell you.
Good morning and welcome back. I am Dean Weitzman, your host at Court Radio every Saturday morning, right here on 100.3 WRNB.
And Classics 107.9.
There you go. Legal's out of the way. Speaking of legal, we got Ken Edelin in the studio.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Kenny is a criminal defense attorney, has his own firm, and we've been talking about the Penn State crime syndicate, cocaine ring.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. Spoken like a criminal defense attorney.
Would you take this case, kid?
It would be cost prohibitive for me to go back and forth out there.
Yeah.
But yes, if it was local, yes, I'd take it.
You take this case? Okay.
Absolutely.
Why
Everybody
not?
needs representation.
Yes.
And
you know what?
needs good representation.
And sometimes it doesn't come down to the are you guilty or are you innocent. The finesse that Ken brings to a case oftentimes is what happens after you're guilty, the sentencing. Because you can go away for...
Or what you're guilty of.
Or, well, yes, which again would impact sentencing. You know, so you can finesse a case all the way up to the very end and create a resolution which is far, far more advantageous for the guilty party than somebody who doesn't have representation or has poor representation, who goes away for many, many more years and has a lot more consequences from that event. So, everybody deserves representation, and not everybody can afford the best representation.
That matters.
Oh, it certainly does.
Now, all the years we've been doing this show, I've never heard you use that term, finesse a case.
Yeah, well, that, and I don't mean that in a negative way.
Right.
I mean that you look at the nuances of a case and you make the most of the circumstances. There are always good points to bring up. And,
Ken's nodding, too. Like, that's all it. Yeah.
That's
okay.
absolutely
Yeah.
right. And that starts from the beginning.
And sometimes, I was watching the story about Clarence Darrow and the Loeb and...
Leopold Loeb?
Yes,
Yeah.
Leopold and Loeb case.
They murdered...
They murdered one of Leopold's cousins.
Yeah.
And these two guys were freaks.
And geniuses, allegedly.
They were.
Yeah.
They were in like
Mensa?
University of Chicago when they were like 14 or 15. These were geniuses in the early 1900s.
Right.
And they killed this boy, and it was vicious, horrible. And they wanted, in the worst way, to put them to death. And Clarence Darrow took the case. And it was the facts were so bad initially, the way it was. But he spent weeks and weeks and weeks trying this case and showing how messed up these two kids were, Leopold and Loeb, and his focus was they were too young to be put to death, that they had not had sufficient time to grow their brain and be accountable to that degree. Well, I did the same thing. Like, I don't know about that. But after this show was over, I was with Clarence Darrow. And so was
as an attorney.
Yes,
okay.
But the legislature
and so was the judge. They did not get the death penalty.
I know this. I know the story.
With it too, though.
Say it again?
Juveniles can no longer get life. There's medical information research that says your brain isn't fully developed until you're like 25. So there used to be
especially men, especially boys.
Now you can't. There has to be a term of years,
right?
Because of the acknowledgement of what Darryl was talking about back in the 19 whatevers.
Yeah, and so any other and at the last minute, just before trial started, he pled them guilty. Okay, and the prosecutor had all this evidence that he was going to lay on the court about how bad these guys were and all the things they did. That it was muted by the plea of guilty. And Clarence Darrow knew that he wasn't there to find them innocent. That was not going to happen. His job was to keep them alive, and he did it.
And I would just say it was probably muted because now it's just in the hands of a judge, because you can still present that same information to try to convince the judge. But that goes back to your whole arbitration versus jury thing. You don't have the outrage of the jurors, the common people.
Exactly.
The judge has heard this. The judge understands it. The judge
I don't know why back then, but the jury was impaneled and did hear all of the evidence regarding sentencing.
Okay.
So apparently their law allowed the jury to participate in whether they got
life or death.
Yeah, and yet it was ultimately the judge's decision, and what a decision he had to make, because the whole world wanted them to be killed as well.
They made a movie out of it. Yeah, I remember.
Do we have time for?
No.
Oh, no, we don't. Oh. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to answer the questions of our callers on YouTube in the closing arguments, our post-radio show.
How about that?
So if you're listening but you're not watching, you can quickly jump over to YouTube right now, and you'll find us there for a few more minutes while we have a further conversation with Ken. For our radio listeners, have a great week. Thanks for being a part of our family, and we'll see you next Saturday, same time, same place.
Thanks for having me.
I'm watching. I'm looking. Yeah, these are the kids right here.
All right, we have Nancy Nancy.
Pants alone.
Nancy.
Yeah, right.
Nancy's question was, friend was legally married, husband died suddenly, house in his name, he has kids from prior relationship. Yes.
She was trying to get that.
My dude, what up?
Get the house in her name now.
Nope, not going to happen. What's going to happen is
Got off the air.
the
You know, radio.
Intestate Act, assuming he does not have a will, and assuming the house is only in his name,
Wow, what's
the
up?
Intestate Act of Pennsylvania would dictate that the first $30,000 goes to Nancy, and the balance of the value of the house is split 50-50, 50 to the children from a prior relationship and 50 to Nancy. And that's the way it works. And Nancy will not get the house free and clear in her name only. Assuming those predicates, there was no will, the house is only legally titled in his name, they were legally married, and he does have children from a prior relationship.
Better call Saul.
Better call Saul.
Better call Saul Langston.
What are you showing me here?
That's your boy. That's Frank Kerbeck.
Oh, it is. You're right. My God, Frank looks great still.
But
Yeah. He's got a little bit of mentation
a
issues.
little bit. But
But he still looks good.
he looks good. He's funny. He remembered you.
Do they have the videos?
Yeah,
They have
it's been.
They got some stuff out there on that lot, boy.
Who's that pretty lady with you?
That's Platinum Black.
Yeah?
That's my friend Barbara Jones.
Wow, I love that hair.
Wait, look at this.
Don't show me anything.
No. That you don't want on camera.
Yeah, we are on camera. Let me show you this.
Oh, man.
YouTube. Next Saturday, I'm giving you a preview. We are moving studios.
Yeah.
We're going to have a brand new studio for our YouTube audience next Saturday that you're going to just love. So come along for the ride.
It's a
We'll
great
see
look.
you, next Saturday. It's getting set up, built out, banged away. The construction, the contractors are here. It's a wild scene out there. And so...
I said, I hear that January 6th, it'll be wild.
Bring up.
Ken, do you want to say anything, last comments?
Where can they find you, Ken?
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you for having me. As always, I enjoyed it. Thank you, Dean, for inviting me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everybody, for your help. Appreciate you.
Always
Talk
a
to
pleasure,
you soon.
sir.
You have to drive back to Delaware.
Yep.
Yeah.
The weather's broke.
You
so
guys
I'll
got
You gotta-
fire this
you
cigar
gotta-
back up.
You got a cigar you're going to smoke on the way home?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me
Smoke
too.
half up. I'm going to smoke half back.
I put mine on top of my tire.
I just leave it in the car. I got a Subaru.
No,
I don't
stop.
have one
On
that's
top of
fancy.
a tire, on a trash can, on a ledge.
Right. But
This dude.
he has fancy cars, so you don't want to just leave it in the car smoking.
Yeah.
Mine is
Smoldering in
Subaru.
his
I'm
car.
not leaving something burning out on the street. Somebody could pick up and spit on it or something. This is amazing to be a cigar smoker.
Yeah, I'm more trustworthy than you are.
You really are.
Yeah.
You really are.
Probably stupidly.
Wouldn't be me.
You didn't say it.
I didn't say that.
What is this
Dover
little...
got
what
hit
is this
hard,
thing?
man. Right?
Dover got hit terribly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the kids at Delaware State got affected a lot because this is move-in week.
Oh, that's right.
So the weather's terrible.
sitting here.
Power went out.
Flood,
some
no
flooding.
power, yeah.
It's been terrible.
That's a
They were
memory.
working around
Any
the
questions or
clock to
comments
get that
before we
fixed.
wrap it up?
No,
Yeah.
we're good.
Absolutely.
Be safe, man. Be safe.
Dover's considerably south from me, but
Okay.
they got hit hard.
All right, guys. See you next Saturday. Thanks for listening and watching.
Thank
Peace
you.
out.
Thanks, guys.